G'day internets. Today we're going to be doing Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. Guitar parts, vocal parts, and I'm going to be doing it with a backing track to get ready to play this song live. Stick around. Okay, Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. Great song. Now, I use a backing track with this song, and I get all my backing tracks now from karaoke version. It's very cheap and it's customizable. You can change keys, you can mute solo tracks. It's really, really great. I've done a separate video on that, so check that out. But for today, we're going to be doing the song with a backing track. So I sing very low, and over the years it's got lower. So what I've done is I tuned down. I went to E flat, everything, and then I went to D. So now I actually play in D. All right. So the E is a D, and everything else is down a whole tone. Now, if you think this video is useless for you because of that reason, think again, because there is software that you can use, and I'll put it in the description. You add it to your YouTube as an extension, and you can change the pitch of your videos in real time. Okay, it's real easy. Just install and play. So if I'm down here in F sharp, right, and you're actually hearing this in A flat, then just tune it up. Tennessee Whiskey. So in this track, I actually often do it. I put a click in the start. So okay, so that gives me a bit of a heads up, and I can actually go. So that'll be the start. All right. So this song I've tuned down to F sharp to suit my voice, so I can get those vocal bits. All right. 2 chords in this song, man. 2 chords. It's the 1 and the 2. Right? That's all it is. Real simple. Okay, so the start of it goes. So it's a. And then I slide it. Right? So I'm basically going to the 4 chord really quickly, but not really hitting the root of it. So start with the track, right? Let's go with the track. So we've got used to spend my nights out. So the reason we're keeping it right back is because the track is doing a fair bit. There's a guitar in the track there, and you really don't have to do much guitar-wise with this, because this track from karaoke version has it. So what I normally do is I'll download the track, and then I'll take the main guitar out, and I'll leave the other guitars in there, you know, depending on what song it is. You don't want too much in there, but with this one, there's other guitars in there that you can see. By this stage, people kind of know what song it is, and they're going, "Oh yeah, man, love this song, yeah." Okay. I used to spend my nights out in the barroom. Liquor was the only love I've known. Right? So I pretty much sing it the same melody as the original. So with the rhythm, it kind of comes in sort of after the beat. So it's like, I used to spend my nights out in the barroom. So what I'm thinking there is usually, you know, I'm not counting 1, 2, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. You know, I'm kind of waiting for that. As soon as I do that, I used to spend my nights out, right? That's when I'm sort of coming in, and he does that with I think all the verses in there. Guys, by the way, if you are enjoying these videos, please press the like button while you're there, just to press it. It'll help me grow the channel. Subscribe if you like. I've got plenty of videos, plenty of things I can teach you from my 20 years of playing live. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. Okay, so let me get to the first verse here, right? I used to spend my nights out in the barroom. I'm still waiting for that. Liquor was the only love I've known. You rescued me from reaching for the bottle. Okay, so after it's kind of after the snare that I kind of feel. Used to spend my nights out at the barroom. And I'm just going like this. Liquor was the only love I've known. And then I go. Right? So that's just a little common rundown. So we've got it's like 1, 2, 3. So we're going. So when I look at it, I'm looking at the pattern here, right? So I'm going, where do I start that little riff from? Well, I'm thinking this little pattern here, which is. Here, that's the 1, right? 1, 2, 3. It's another little thing you can go off, right? So, so I'm thinking of that third one. So I'm sort of. I do look at these frets a lot, but for here, I'm thinking, okay, well, there's the 2, there's the 3. I want to go from the 3 to the 2 to the 1. So it's sort of, so it kind of slides down like this. This doesn't quite sound right. I'm going to tune this. Okay. So we go. Oh, that's better. All right. If this is the first chord, right, this is your F sharp. So the second chord in this is a G sharp minor, right? If you look at that G sharp minor, if we play the G sharp minor, if you look at these two here, you'll see those two notes are in it, right? So those two notes are in the F sharp. Those two notes are in the G sharp minor, right? And then we're 2 frets up with the same. That's the third chord, which is a minor, which is a B flat minor. If we look at that, so technically we're going F sharp, G sharp minor, A sharp minor, and start to see those patterns after a while. You don't even have to think of it. You can start playing with them, right, in these 2 notes. There's also ones that you can use it. Sorry, I'm in G there. So you can also, there's a whole bunch of these little things that you can use. And you don't necessarily need to know exactly what chord it is. You just need to know what chord to start on, right? So I've got all these little patterns that I use. And I only know, I'm only thinking of the first chord, right? Because I know that if the song is sort of it stays in the key that you're in. Let's say you're in F sharp. I can play these little riffs. So I know here that there's... I haven't got a clue what I'm actually playing here. I just know the shape, and I know the shape ends up in the root, right? So I know I know I'm getting a bit off track with the actual song, but this is really handy for other stuff, right? Especially bluesy stuff, right? So I'll go there. So there's all these little patterns, right? And this is the major, right? So I'll start here. I know that I can go up here. That's minor, there's major, there's minor. So I can go up. So I know if I can go up 2 here, and then I can go up 2 of that, and then I can go up 2 of that. That's actually the minor 7 flat 5, but there's the root. So I just know this is the F sharp here, and these patterns that I've learnt, they become instinctive, right? And they're part of the diatonic progression of the key, right? So we've got the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the first again, right? They're from each diatonic chord, right? And we know that, if you don't know, we know that the first one is major, second one is minor. If the third one's minor, it's going to be the same shape, right? Third one's minor, fourth is major, fifth is major, sixth is minor. This works, I don't know where that'll be. That's the minor 7 flat 5. That's where it gets a bit funny. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. All right, same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's other ones. There's like 3 different ones that I can go to here in my mind. I mean, there's more, but this is what I use in my repertoire of stuff, right? So if I want to go really low on something, I can go here. Right, there's that. There's this. There's it. Right. And then there's individual. We know where the scale is. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. What are you doing? All right. So let's go back to Tennessee whiskey. I don't know how much of that stuff I'm going to use, but I went on a bit of a rant there. If you guys want any tutorials on places you can go without necessarily having to understand a whole lot of chord theory, generally I'll play something where I know where the root is, and then I can go off on patterns from that root. I don't even know what notes I'm playing, okay? But there are so many places you can go. Right, so let me know, and it works for me. It just sort of builds a repertoire of licks, if you like, or places that you can sort of go without having to understand everything. Right, very handy. My knowledge is minimal, but I've got a lot of little patterns, and I use them. And after a while, you get to really hear where you should be going, where you shouldn't. You take it for what it's worth. All right, so. Used to spend my nights out in the barroom. Liquor was the only love I've known. Right, so we got that little run from the 3. You got to sort of get it under your fingers. We slide up. Try and get that. You rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back from being too far gone. You can kind of sing this the way you want, but I do like to basically mimic a great song and then just get the main points of the melody, and they sort of evolve into your own take on it anyway. So, okay, so this is what I got from the first verse so far. I used to spend my nights out in the barroom, you was the only love I've known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. So in the first chorus, everything's sort of on the beat until it gets to the word smooth, okay? And that's kind of syncopated. So what I mean is, you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet. So the sweet comes in on the right note, but sweet, sweet. So he's already sung E before the beat. So Tennessee whiskey, you're as sweet strawberry wine, and the strawberry sort of comes in a little bit before the beat as well, right? You'll hear that in the if you download that track, you'll hear that in the vocals, in the backing vocals, which are here. So if I go to the start, you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You hear that? Where those backing vocals are coming in syncopated. So you want to come in right on them, because later on they're slightly different. All right, so let's go with that in mind, and we'll get to that funky bit, the hard vocal bit. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. And listen to those backings. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. All right, so you hear that? So you basically just want to come in on the melody where you hear that harmony coming in. Because when they do it, they're doing it pretty well. They're doing it in time, like how the song goes, okay? It's not just a coincidence. All right, we'll do the whole chorus now. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet strawberry wine. One thing I wanted to mention in there too, just before we get to that, is I actually take a breath before the strawberry, right? You may not need to, but I do, just so I can get the volume out. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. So I take a little breath in there just to get more power. More power. Get up the Benji. Come meet my dog. Come here, boy. Come here, Benji. Come on. Come say hi to the internet. This is Benji. He's my beautiful boy. He's my best friend. Jump.
You say, "Hi, Benji."
Hi, Internets. Hi, Benji. What?
He's a beautiful boy. He's my little man. He's a Jakey boy.
Anyway. All right. So. All right. So, where were we? Yeah, that little breath there. Sweet Tennessee whiskey. You're a sweet strawberry wine. Obviously, I don't take a breath like that, but I'm just sort of augmenting where I do it. All right. Now, this next bit, you'll take a big breath, right? Because it's a long no. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. Okay, so it's warm. There's 3 of those little peaks. Warm, warm. I don't really do it that well, but you get the picture, right? You're as warm. I can't sort of do it quietly. I've got to really push it out to get those notes out. So it's, you're as warm. Whoa! You got to try and get them in fairly quickly, right? Now, if you can't get that, don't sing it, right? If on the second verse, generally I don't, because it takes a bit out of you, right? I mean, obviously, if he's doing it for TV, I mean, I wonder if he does it actually every time, because for me, it busts my balls, you know? So I'll just go something like, you're as warm. It's a glass of brandy. I mean, you can do your own thing in it. I think people may be expecting you to sing at least once that riff, that trill, whatever you want to call it. So practice it, see if you can get it. But if you can't, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a clever little bit, but to sing it 3 times in 3 choruses is a bit much, I reckon. If you're just playing at a pub somewhere. I mean, on a record and that, it's very clever, but you can mix it up. You're as warm, glass of brandy. You know, you can do, you're as warm, it's a glass of brandy. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You're as warm, you know, something like that. You can just simplify it. You're as warm, the glass of brandy. Do your own thing, you know. But you know, there are options there, right? So let's do the full first verse. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. Honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. I've looked for love in all the same old places. Same old, really here. Found a bottle, the bottle's always dry. It's probably my favourite line in there, with his timing on where he says, found the bottom of the bottle always dry. I mean, it's such a simple song, but the timing of the vocals is what's killer in this, right? But when you poured out your heart, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love, big breath, to get me high. Yeah, you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. stay strong on your love all the time. All right. So there really is only a couple of little rhythm changes in the vocals there, but it really does sort of make it. If you can hit those vocals the way Chris Stapleton does, man, here comes the solo, okay? So let's have a look at it. So we're in F sharp, right? This is like an extended version. So I'll often play this scale over a major. This is the pattern I'm thinking in my head. Right? So that's what I'm thinking when I'm doing this like. That really helps when you're doing rhythm stuff too. So I'm looking at that. Like I'm looking here, whenever I'm playing this, I'm looking at those three there. I know those three are gonna work. So I can just buggerize around them. All right, I'm just looking at that and I'm just riffing. Any of those notes. There's another one up there. There's another F sharp there, right? So, keeping that in mind, right? This is the that's the scale, right? So we're starting. So when I start this solo, I'm looking at this note here, right? So I'm literally sometimes I'm just counting up. That's where the solo starts, right? So it goes. That's it. Bends up to the F sharp, right? So we go. Right, there's the first note. Real easy here. And you can riff over it, but this is what the solo does on the record. And often I think that, it's good to play solos that are from the record because people not only recognise songs as great songs, but they recognise those little licks and those hooks within the song itself. For example, Layla. When I do Layla, I basically do it note for note, right, on the solo. Because people understand that that's the solo from the record too. So it's sort of, even though you're copying it, a lot of people like to do their own thing, and I do my own thing in a lot of stuff, with solos. But with certain songs, I think it's good to play it from what the record was. I mean, we're cover acts, right? No one's coming to see us. They're just most people are just there. Well, maybe some of you they are, but in the reality of things. When you work as a musician 3 days a week for 20 years, there's not a lot of people that come see you, right? So let's have no illusion that, they're actually coming to see us. We're just there. We just happen to be there while people come in, right? So if you can change that into people going, wow, I really like to give me a card, then that's just business rolling in, right? And I do think that I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but I do think that playing certain solos from famous songs, playing them like the original, sort of gives people a subliminal feeling. I don't know what it is, but I like to do it. Anyway, you can do your own thing in this. It's very simple, but this is how the solo goes on the record, right? So we go, and then we go, all right? So we slide up. This is those things that I was talking about earlier, right? Little patterns. Right, there's one of them. So we go. So there's a quick one up, and there's a slower. Again, I'll do it with the track. Right there, and here we go into the second bar. Alright, so that's that second bit starts here, right? So starts here. So we're gonna break down these solos, right? Now, if you don't solo, try and learn to solo, because, if you're playing to a track and you don't play a solo in the track, or you're not doing something rhythmically with the guitar that is augmenting the track, then you just karaoke, really. I think it's very important to not let the track do all the manual work, right? And a lot of the songs I use, there is a lot in there. Like I do Uptown Funk, and I got all my voices recorded in there, and but it has to be like that for those kind of songs. But I really don't do much guitar wise in it. But I wouldn't be doing that with all songs, right? So you want to at least do a song, and this is a good place to start because it's pretty easy, right? So we've got. We're bending up. We're bending up to 2 frets, then we're bending up 3. We hang on that. It's kind of unresolved there, but that's what it is. So I'll do the second part, all right, without the track, so you can hear it on its own. All right. So we'll do the solo one time through. In context with the track. Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet strawberry wine. See, I'm sort of a little bit out of time with that vocal here. So at the end, the vocal comes in a bit later than it did. So we go. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet strawberry wine. You're as warm, oh, as a glass of brandy. I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. It's Tennessee whiskey. It's Tennessee whiskey. Really laid back. You're as Tennessee whiskey. It goes down here, right? It's Tennessee whiskey. It's Tennessee whiskey. Right? But anyway, that's about it, really. Look, real simple one there. Takeaways from that. I really think it's a good idea to start getting used to those little patterns, right? These ones, get them in your head because you see them used all the time. Like just in that solo where I go, I mean, that's just the 2 and the 3 chord. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right? So get them in your head because they're everywhere in music. People using these double stops everywhere, and they're really cool, right? So we've got 2 that are closer together. Just learn the patterns, right? Learn where the root note is. So the root note and the first chord, right? And then we're just taking little bits and pieces. Yeah, that's the root note, that's the 3rd, right? So we know in that chord there, F sharp, those 2 little notes in the middle, start there. So there's your F sharp. You don't have to know any of the other notes. You just have to know the pattern that follows that anchor, right? So we go up 1 fret and we split our fingers open to 2 frets, right? And you can see that, right? I've got to get a new camera so I can zoom in on my hand, and I'll do that soon. I know it's not that easy to see, but so anyway, 2. So it's the first position, 1 fret apart, right? That's the first and the 3rd, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? So we've got, and that's all you need to know. These 2 are the same. So it starts there, goes 2, these are minor chord. So that's the same as doing the minor chords, right? So you play the whole chord. You know, I can't get up there on this, but it starts here. Right? You do any combination of that, right? As long as you know where the root is. So if I know the root's there, if I know the root's there, I know those 2 are going to be the same. Just slide them up 2. And that sounds good just in itself, right? If you want to go higher, we go back to that position there, right? And then again. So we've got, move to that. So let's call that the minor position. Let's call that the major position because it's true, right? So we've got the major position, which is 2, 1 fret apart. Then we've got the minor position, which is two frets apart. So we've got major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. So we've got major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor 7 flat 5. But that still doesn't change that. It's essentially a minor shape, right? So you're really only changing your position of your fingers twice, right? The rest of the time it's just where you're moving it on the fretboard, right? First position, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major, and that's the top. Right, so get that in your head for a start, and then you can just jam on it. Just sit on any of those chords. Whoops. Sounds a bit Mexican, doesn't it? But anyway, and the other one is this one here. That's really cool. Let's do F. Let's change it. Let's play it in G, right? So we've got G. So it'd be the same there. Let's change the position. Okay, so now we're using the third and the root. Before we were using the root and the third. Right, and it's the same increments, right? So we've got, now the only difference between this and the other one is we're 2 strings apart here. Can you see that? 2 strings apart. And then the minor is this shape here. Because if you look at the chord, diatonically, there's the G, right? There's the A minor, right? There's the B minor, which is the third chord, right? But at the bottom of those chords, we've got these positions, right? Right, so again, so if we go 1, 2, 3, that's going to work. You only have to know where the first one is, right? Once you get it under your fingers, right, so now we can use this. Starting to make it sound real Mexican, but it doesn't have to be, right? I don't even know what I'm doing, but you know what I mean, right? Okay, so I think that's really important to get under your fingers. You don't have to know each note. Just have to know the first one. It's the same for scales when you want to do scales, right? I know the first one there, and then I know right? It's a major scale. It's a major. That one is actually the pentatonic, right? This is the major. Anyway, that's another lesson, but I mean, so that's the takeaway I get from that. It's just combining all these things later on, and then when you see people doing some riffs and that, you go, oh, okay, that's just that. I know that. Right. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up now. I've babbled on enough. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.